Hello, Internet! Welcome to 2.5 Brains. This is our episode of Survivor Season 44, Episode 9 recap. We'll break it all down, talk all about it. Be sure to subscribe so you miss anything. You can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Road Prod. Email the show directly, pavementroadproductions@gmail.com. Subscribe right there on the YouTube channel. Share the post, tell your friends. Obviously, a lot of different content, so whatever you love, you can enjoy. Whatever you don't like, you can just skip, but get it all so you have it. You don't miss anything that you do want. Obviously, we're talking about it here right a couple days after the episode, trying to record, right after the episode. Usually didn't quite happen. We had some technical difficulties immediately following this week, but we're trying to record it on the episode as soon as it ends. Get our record out, our episode out, recap. As we do, we're going to do the 3 moment that matters and talk about who did not survive. Talk about the top 3 and bottom different. Don't do that anymore. Bottom player. Review the rest of the cast, so the thumbs up, thumbs down, and then of course talk about the best player this week as we go through. Let's go ahead and bring in the other half, the better half of the show. Jessica, welcome to the show.
You drunk?
Very much so.
Okay, just checking.
Cool. So, anything you want to say about the episode as we get started?
The episode was fine. It was on my favorite.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's fine. We're currently rewatching Winners of War, and it was obviously really a lot better.
You're rewatching.
As I said, yeah, I'm rewatching.
I thought you said were.
No, I'm rewatching Winners of War, and I enjoy it way more than obviously more recent seasons. But we'll talk about some of that stuff coming up. There's a podcast or a YouTube channel that talks about the last Survivor stuff, and they're talking about ways to fix Survivor, make it better. And I haven't listened to that yet, but it may be something I'm thinking about doing in the future. So
Have fun.
we may or may not do together. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
But in the off season perhaps. Anyways,
Great.
what the issues I was saying, the problems that Survivor was having, last couple seasons, I think are still play now. So we'll talk about it as we come up. It's funny on the Survivor fans Facebook page. Most people posted lately. Like, this is supposed to be a show for fans of a page for fans of the show, and everybody always complains they aren't actually fans. So being a fan means you don't complain, apparently, right? You have to like everything they do. You have to worship at their altar.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not a fan, so.
Right. Well, yeah, it doesn't apply to you. Cool.
I just mean,
Yeah.
I complain about the show, but yeah I don't know.
No, for sure. So, anyways,
Whatevs.
let's go ahead and start with 3 ones that mattered, and then we'll go from there. All right?
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Perfect.
We do this every week. Yes.
Yeah, I messed it up
I know.
half the time. So, moment that mattered number 1 this week is
Rice line negotiator.
exactly.
There you go.
What was that all about?
About rice line negotiating. It was about individual immunity. They got tree mail before going to that, basically saying they will be able to negotiate for Rice, even though nobody negotiated with Jeff at all. They basically negotiated with each other if anybody was going to sit out or not. Everybody was saying no, let's just play the game. Danny's. Carson would have sat out, but everybody else was kind of mostly on the fence and didn't want to sit out and possibly not get to individual immunity. However, when it came game time, it was rainy and crappy out, and Carson sat out because Heidi started it. She started saying, we decided before, but let's see if negotiations have changed. And who was it first? I'm trying to remember. I know Carson sat out, Kane sat out, Heidi sat out. Oh, Lauren started it. Lauren said she'd sit out, then Carson said, and then Kane said he would, and then Heidi did, and then they got raised because Jeff said he wanted 4. But I still say they should have negotiated for 3 people, but they didn't do it at all.
For sure. And I said, I think the first time Jeff said I want 6, then he got down to 4.
This time, he just said 4. Yeah. And they could have been like, how about 3?
Right, and then Jamie was on the fence. She was going to do it, and then she decided she wanted to compete, and then Heidi decided to do it.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge where you hold the ball up with you basically have a pool buoy on a stick, either side, and sticking it on either side of it. Yeah. And you hold the ball up against the pole, and you send out a little block.
Right.
They do that challenge a lot.
Yeah.
It's boring because it's like somebody just falls. Like it's not like you can't be like, oh, this person's so far ahead in the obstacle course.
Right.
All right. It's not. You just like it's like you can fall asleep and look up at the end, and Oh, that person won. Okay,
Yeah.
they must have outlasted everybody.
Game of stamina.
Right.
Isn't it outwit, outlast, outplay? So there you go. They outlasted somebody. Man, I shouldn't even know that much.
Well, it's definitely not in that order, but yes, that's true.
I don't care.
It's fine. You got
It's
it.
all the same things.
Yeah, it's
I thought it was outwit, outlast, outplay. What is it?
I'll play outlast. Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. Good job. And I said it's point. Those challenges are hard to sit through. There's like so many falls. Oh, okay, wow. It's like you play roulette, right? You put on 5, and 5 comes up. 5.
Yeah.
All right. It's like okay, cool,
Yeah.
awesome. That's a
fine.
David Tell joke. Anyways.
Okay. Sure.
Anyways, so I said what I would like to them to have done is because they negotiated for a pretty decent sized bag of rice for 4 people sitting out. What I would have done is said, how about we have 3 people sit out and get half the rice?
I wouldn't even ask for half the rice. I would say, how about 3 people?
Right. Well, then if Jeff says no, 4, then you negotiate.
I
Yeah.
would say take a quarter of the rice away. I wouldn't do half.
No, whatever.
Half
Yeah.
for one person.
No, I'm saying.
Learn negotiation.
Wow. Yes, true. But I'm saying I would have
Yes,
gone
I
down
know.
that low. I would
I
have
know.
started there, but I would have, gone down that
Yeah.
low.
Nobody negotiated nothing.
No, they didn't negotiate at all. Like I said, because and the thing is that people always say like, I think Jeremy said it right. He's the only one who's ever really said it right. They always start with all this rice. People want more rice, and they want enough rice to last their whole tribe the whole time.
Yeah.
They don't need enough rice to last the whole tribe the whole time. They need enough to last a couple people the whole time because they're the ones that are gonna be there the whole time.
Well, the difference between that and now is though they don't get any rice at all, so
Yeah.
they basically just starve them until they decide to throw freaking scraps at them, which is so stupid.
Well, and you know why they do it, right?
Yeah, because it's a shortened season, like
Yeah.
it's shortened weeks, but still,
And they want to make it more difficult.
but it's already difficult with the just rice. Not everybody even likes rice. That's not protein. It gives you very little energy. Like instead we're just watching people starve until they can eat. Like that's not entertaining.
Well, I said the show gets weak because people don't do anything strategically because they're too tired to think.
Well, yeah,
And-
I can never do that show. I
Right.
get hungry after a day if I don't eat and I'm ripping your head off.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, I said so. There's 2 reasons they do it. One, because it used to be 39 days. People are saying, "Oh, it's so easy now. It's only 26 days, so they don't have to last half the time." So they want to make it harder, so they don't give them rice. B,
It's not half the time, but yes, continue.
close. Yeah.
Yes.
2 weeks less. It's 2 weeks less. Blah blah blah. Right, and then also, the reason they do that is because Jeff loves the outdoorsy guys, and the outdoorsy guys will catch fish and get papayas and stuff, and that'll increase their value on the team because they're actually feeding the team. Whereas if they give them a bunch of other food, the guys who go out and fish, it doesn't matter as much because they have all this other food.
Except every time someone's done that recently, they get knocked out because they're like, all they do is fish. They're never here. So
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I know.
I don't want to. We don't have to keep talking about this, but
No, for
it's
sure.
stupid.
For sure, it's Jeff loves the big guys, so he's like Vince McMahon. He loves the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Like I said, they should have actually negotiated something, though, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, like Jeremy said, like when they did the negotiation for rice on his first season, he's like, why are we negotiating for rice? He goes, we'll just vote 2 more people off, and we'll have all the rice we need. All right, that's like stupid.
Yeah.
Like they basically negotiated to give up all the rewards they won the whole season for more rice. He's like, well, we're gonna merge in like a week, in like 2 days,
That's dumb.
and we're mostly out soon anyways, so we'll have more rice for them, and we'll merge with the team who has a lot of rice.
They shouldn't eat all their rice.
Well, and they swapped to a tribe that ate all the rice, so it wasn't even their fault. But still,
Yeah.
and it's like it's like just I would eat all the rice, and then Jeff says, well, we have to negotiate for the okay. I'll give you back the shit I won the reward, and then I'll get more rice, and I'll eat more, and I'll win more challenges. Can I eat more than everybody else?
Yeah.
It's just like it's silly, but actually negotiate. Don't say okay, well and of course Danny gave Scout's honor that if you sit out we won't vote you out,
Yeah.
and then he revealed the oath on a Scout.
Yeah.
So.
I have an interesting idea, but maybe we could. I guess we could save it for other show. Or I could mention it now.
Mention it now.
So what if someone? It'd be interesting if someone won individual immunity and said to Jeff, "I will give you back the necklace if you give me rice, and no one's safe at tribal."
Yeah,
That's something different.
interesting.
But anyways,
Yeah, I'm sure Jeff would do it because anything that's unique or different that's never done before, he'd do.
probably, but that would be probably a quick way to get rice
Yeah, sure.
if you really wanted
Sure.
it. But anyways,
If you have an idol or something, you don't
there
need
you
it,
go,
right?
people. Ideas for the future if you're ever on the show.
There you
Do
go.
that.
So what's moment that mattered number 2?
Tika in the middle.
Tika in the middle. And it's funny because they're saying, oh, do you trust that people said they won't vote you out for sitting out? Kane's like, no. I mean, everybody lies, and how much rice you're gonna get, or if you're gonna vote somebody out for sitting out or not vote somebody out because they sat out to get you rice. That's not people are gonna lie about that. That's very low on the lie totem pole.
Yeah.
But Tika in the middle, what's that all about?
So Carson, Jam Jam, and Carolyn are basically playing both sides, if you will. They're available to both sides because their other teams are feuding. So what, purple and
Well, they're purple.
green. They're purple, green and orange, or whatever it was. Yeah. Even though they're all on one island and one tribe right now, they're still on their individual tribes together. So Tika is being able to control basically where the votes will go.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And so Tika's in the middle. They had the options. It was 4 and 3, and then they got rid of. I think it was 4. Was it 4, 4 and 3? And they got rid of Matt, and then it was 4, 3 and 3, and they got rid of Brandon. So then it was 3, 3 and 3.
Yep.
And Tika's still in the middle the whole way. They're they're running. It's sometimes it is good to go in the merge down in the numbers, especially if there's 2 other tribes. If there's one other tribe, you're probably getting picked up. If there's 2 other tribes, you can be in the middle and ride through for a while. So
yeah.
Interesting how it worked out. And people were saying, like I think Kane was saying, they're asking, what kind of game they'll play. They'll play an old school game, new school game, a busy game, or a chaotic game, or a slow game, and like play the slow game. It's more boring, but you'll do better if you play the slow game. If you methodically move through the game instead of being chaotic. And when you're entrenched in your own sides, that's not really, that's playing an old school game. That's playing our alliance, not your alliance, then we win. That is kind of more old school. So I don't know, but they're it's the orange against the green, and they're still they're still entrenched. And so that leaves Tika to do what the heck they want, and they're kind of talking about jumping back and forth and pendulum a little bit, and we'll see that's what they do. But we'll talk more about it. Why who didn't survive and why, but that's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Is being in the middle.
Yep. So Malcolm in the middle, Tika in the middle.
Malcolm Freeberg, he was great. We liked him.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the boss of me now.
He was on an episode I think of Young and the Restless or Bold and Beautiful or something.
Oh, I don't watch that stuff anymore.
No, I know, but he was on Survivor and he was on that show.
Interesting. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. Quite.
What's moment that mattered number 3? Because that moment on that show didn't matter. Okay.
Exactly. Live-ish Tribal is number 3.
Yeah, Live-ish Tribal is moment number 3. What does that mean?
So, of course, everybody lost their shit and had to start getting up and talking. And, I think Kane started it when he was starting to talk to, Lauren. They're all getting around and trying to talk about who they're voting for, if the plan's still the same. And Jam Jam had to get up and he's all excited because it was a live tribal and things were exciting. And, everybody making sure their plans were the same. But, of course, nothing was the same.
I think it kind of was the same.
Well, not from what we saw, yeah.
Right, from what we saw. But I think that's why I said live-ish, because all this talking and everything, I don't think much really did change from when they got there.
Well, no, because not what we saw, but they already had their minds, decided on what they were doing.
A live tribal to me is like the plan completely changes at tribal, whereas in this case, nothing. I think they just talked and they different sides solidified. And then what we saw, it changed from what we saw, but I don't think it really did change. I think it was already pretty much set, and they just all the talking was much ado about nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to determine that unless they tell you in the episode later, the next episode, whether or not something changed. But I mean this one, I don't think changed either. They're just feeding the person that got voted out the information they thought and just went with what they were doing.
For sure, and they trying to keep people content, trying to get people to play their idols, etc. etc.
I mean yes and no, because I think 2 of them didn't know what was actually going on, obviously.
Yeah. There's someone who will vote the wrong way.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
So, with all that being said, that quote-unquote chaos at Tribal Council led to somebody getting voted out.
Obviously.
Who did not survive?
Kane.
Yes, the Canadian.
Kane thought it was Danny. It wasn't Danny, it was him.
Yes.
And Lauren and Jamie did not know what was going on.
You're correct. And so
Tika in the middle swung the vote the way they wanted it to go.
Yep, they did. And Obviously, the Canadian voted out. I wanted a Canadian to win season 42, but not the Canadian. The one I wanted a different Canadian, the one from Kitchener to win. But I digress. Canadian gets voted out. A Canadian will not win this season. Here.
Whatevs.
They whatever.
We'll just root for them in the hockey finals.
No chance. No. I it's like so in the hockey finals. I always have like nobody to root for because I can't root for any of the Canadian teams, or any of the Southern teams, or any team that beat the Buffalo teams in the playoffs, which are Southern teams.
Right. We're not getting into hockey right now, but yes.
Right. So exactly. So what did Kane do wrong? Why did Kane lose time?
What did he do wrong? I guess trusted his alliances too much and didn't try to branch out to other people, especially when Brandon, got voted off. I think it would have been smarter for him to try and make peace with the other side. Although, can't say that because Tika was fine with them, but whatever reason, Carson decided to vote Kane out. I don't know. He was pretty close with them, but yeah. So the votes for Kane were obviously Danny, Heidi, Carson, Carolyn, and Jam Jam. And then the other ones voted for Heidi, and he voted for Danny.
Yeah.
So that sucked. But
there was 2 random votes thrown out there, right? 2 in there.
The 2 for Heidi from Jamie, and then Lauren, because Lauren had Jamie had Lauren's extra vote.
Yeah.
And then Kane left with Jamie's fake idol.
Which I thought was real. But there were 4 total votes that were cast. 4 people got votes. Danny got votes.
Danny, Heidi, Kane.
And then there's one other random one.
Danny, Heidi, Kane, Jamie, I think was one.
Did Jam Jam do it?
Jam Jam voted for Kane.
No, did he get a vote against him?
No, I think it was Jamie. There was a vote for Jamie.
Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds right. Okay. Either way, regardless, long story short, Kane gets voted out. I think he did a couple things wrong. Like you said, he was very cocky when the Brandon thing happened. Before the Brandon thing happened,
he caught himself though. He admitted that he was being cocky. Then.
And so he tried to correct. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is, it's hard to do it because if you're the only one doing it, you kind of get targeted going to the other side. Mm-hmm. But like when Rob Cesternino played, he was the first one to really do it. It was his side versus the other side, and they're entrenched. They were going to war with each other, and one person was in the middle. And that person was gonna make all the decisions. And Rob says, "Let's make it easy. Let's just get rid of that person." Mm-hmm. And I think Franny brought it up. She won immunity. She brought up that why don't we take out?
Yes, I forgot about Franny.
Yeah.
Did Franny vote for Jamie? I don't remember. I don't think it was. It doesn't matter, but I forgot about Franny because I don't care about Franny.
Yeah. So I think, but she was saying, why don't we take out like members of Tika because they're getting kind of big, getting kind of powerful, and and Dan's like, no, it's not time for that. Yeah, blah blah blah. And maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, but I guess we'll see. But I think the thing is when you're entrenched in your side, like, hey, it's my side versus their side. If you lose, you're picked off, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got to give yourself more options, right? He thought he was close with Carson, but Carson wasn't going to put his foot down, and like, no, we're saving, because Carson does that, and he fights too hard for Kane. They're like, why we want Kane so bad,
right?
And he gets voted out, right? So he's kind of and Jam Jam wanted Kane gone because Kane voted for him. So it's kind of the Jam Jam revenge tour. Everybody voted for him, gets voted out one by one, which is like, all right, whatever. But I think that was the biggest thing. He was, he kind of let Brandon do a lot of talking, or Lauren do a lot of talking, mm-hmm. and Kane was kind of just like, the other number with them. And the only other alliance he had outside of his original team was Carson, and, Carson had other options,
Yeah.
And so I think that was the biggest thing. I think he wasn't too flexible, mm-hmm. let's say. He wasn't flexible enough to go to the green team and make amends and say, hey, let's work together. And maybe it wouldn't have worked. It maybe very well may not have worked, but he should have tried it. Should have not relied on somebody else to keep him in the game. He should have made other alliances, other decisions. Hey, I want to work. Hey, Danny, I want to work with you. Hey, whoever, Franny. Hey, whoever's in the power position over there. Let's not kill each other. Let's take out the other side. And maybe it wouldn't have worked. Maybe it would have pushed. Maybe it would have pushed the purple side away from him, and cost him the game. But he lost anyways. So mm-hmm. maybe do that. That might have been an option.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, again, it's tough to say, but I think if he would have had more options, he probably stays in the game.
Probably.
Instead of just relying on one person from purple, Carson. To keep
Well, yeah.
So, again, it is good to have alliances. It's good to be tight with your alliances, keep your alliances, close. But, when there's a sinking ship, you have to get off it. And also, you don't want to just tie yourself to one alliance because then the ship does sink, it's too late.
They also said on the episode there really is no alliances, so alliances barely exist anymore.
That's simply untrue this season. I mean, going forward, maybe that they're not going to have alliances going forward, but
This
it's
whole time
3,
they've
3,
had
and 3.
alliances,
There's no
yeah.
more defined.
Everybody's always stuck to their initial tribe.
Right. So and it's like we're gonna go down with the ship, like Carson or Kane and Brandon and all them, and Kane voted for Brandon previously, right? So it's like, why are they so close? And Lauren and Jamie and all them, you were in this tribe for like 4 days. Like, why are you willing to risk your game for people you've known for 4 days?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. But I digress.
Yeah.
And that's why King got voted out. Speaking of stupid, who's the worst player this week?
Worst player is Lauren.
Yeah. And by the way, what did Kane get? What did he get finished with?
He finished with a -3.
-3, yeah. So Lauren's worst player this week. She has two thumbs down this week. And we're talking about why in a minute. What's she at?
She's -4.
-4 now. Okay. And why is Lauren the worst player this week? Why is she in the worst spot, or why did she have the worst week?
I mean, her alliances are getting picked off one by one, so she's probably next, unless she tries to change something.
Yep.
Wasted her extra vote.
And that's the biggest thing too. Is because her and Jamie are kind of in a similar spot. Jamie lost an idol because they did the whole thing where they thought maybe knowledge of power was coming, so they wanted to give Jamie the extra vote to use, and then they wanted to give Kane, they wanted to give Jamie Lauren's extra vote to use, and then they wanted to give Kane Jamie's idol to hang on to in case somebody had knowledge of power, which you said what?
Stupid, because Jamie gave away her idol and then took her Lauren's extra vote, so she gave away an advantage and got another one in her pocket. So
Yeah.
someone could have asked her, she still would have had something to give up.
Yeah, I'm not sure how specific that rule is.
Yeah,
if it's like, you have to say, do you have an advantage or an idol, or do you have to pick one, or I don't know. But either way, it's risky, and if you don't trust the other side enough to do that, like if you don't trust the purple team enough to give them one of those,
Right.
then you're really in a bad spot anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're gonna try to switch things around, switch around with actually somebody else,
Right.
not somebody who's in your direct line.
Right.
And they thought Jamie had an idol, so they might have asked her, "Do you have an advantage or an idol?" And so she wasn't the one to target because they, anyways.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but the idol was less valuable than the extra vote in this case. Not that she didn't know that, but the extra idol, the idol was fake.
Right.
So,
So she got saved the embarrassment. I
I guess she had to say the embarrassment of it going out in Kane's pocket rather than her playing it and getting voted out with it.
Right.
Still, but yes, I think the reason that Lauren had a worse week than Jamie is because Lauren's extra vote got played and got wasted, whereas Jamie didn't actually have anything
Right.
to lose. So both lost what they had, but Jamie's was fake.
Yeah.
It wasn't real.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Lauren had the worst week this week, and now she's down to one ally left. That's it.
Yep.
So and that's tough. She's in a tough spot.
Yep.
That being said, oftentimes, as it's been in the case in recent seasons previously, when you're losing enough allies, your threat level goes down low enough where somebody else gets taken out before you because your threat level goes down low enough. I don't know. Lauren could still be okay. She could still do well, but not great week for her this week.
Yep.
Anything else on the bottom player this week?
No.
No? Let's go through the rest of the cast then and give them thumbs up, thumbs down, and then say where they're at.
Carson.
Carson, what did he get this week?
He is negatory.
Yeah, his first thumbs down.
Yeah. Don't vote out your alliance.
Yeah, so sort of, yeah. So what is why is he or what is he at total?
He's at a +8.
+8. So his first thumbs down. So he's now at +8, and Bailey agrees because he says that was a bad move.
Yeah.
I think the thing is for Carson is like, a lot of times people. I think I made an analogy the other day about the whole do you have an idol or an advantage, and then giving it, it's like gives away the wrong thing, right? But no, with Carson, I think the thing with Carson is he has other options, but he let Jam Jam get rid of the person who they basically let Jam Jam make an emotional decision that also now hurts Carson. Like if he should have told, he could have very easily told Jam Jam, no, we're not getting rid of Kane today. We're getting rid of Danny. We're getting rid of whoever.
Right.
Right. And granted, you don't want to necessarily flip that early. You don't want to define your spot that early. And cause that makes you a target. But I mean, he could have very easily swung things to keep his ally Kane. He could have still had Kane to work with, and you trim other people.
Yeah.
You trim other people you aren't going to work with. You're not going to work with Heidi. You're not going to work with maybe Danny.
Mm-hmm.
You get rid of them, and you still keep the one person you're going to work with, and if that way you have options. Because he just limited his options by getting rid of Kane. I think that was a bad move.
Yeah. No, I think so. I agree. Next.
Yep.
Franny.
Yep.
She is a positive this week.
Yep. What's up on her head?
-2.
Yes. And why is Franny a positive this week?
Because she won individual immunity.
One individual immunity, and her side won out in the vote, right? So they wanted to get rid of another orange. They get rid of another orange, and that's good. Also, they need to start realizing is she has the actual vote right in the jury.
Right.
So I mean, that's they got to make a move against her because that could be a problem.
Yeah.
She has at least one guaranteed vote sitting there.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yep.
Who is next?
Jam.
Jam. What gets a what?
He gets a positive, and he is now at a neutral.
Neutral. He's even Steven.
He is even Steven.
Yes.
I was just thinking with him too. They better vote him out, not let him get to the end, because he could say he got everybody out. Because once you put my name out there, I vote you out, and that's what happened. So
yeah,
he could try and twist that too.
And not for nothing, but that's true. I mean, it's it may not be the game you like because it's a very emotional game, but if it works, it works. So he
Not that he even
has agency in it.
chartered any of those
Correct.
votes, but yeah, he could try and flip it.
He can spin it that way.
Yep.
If he's up against people who are unlikable or didn't do anything, like
Right.
it was him with Heidi and freaking whoever else, somebody,
Jamie.
Carolyn who nobody takes seriously.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
could just say, hey, you came for me. I got rid of everybody I put on the jury. He could own that and that could be good for him. So
Right.
I think he's still playing too emotional of a game. I think he's still not doing playing an amazing game, but worse players have won
Right.
even recently.
So we've
So
seen. Yeah, Bailey agrees.
yeah. But again, there was a tug of war between Tika. Tika was even divided on who to go for, and he won out. He got his way.
Right.
So.
He did. Unfortunately, I guess.
Good for him. So what's next?
Next is Heidi.
Heidi, what she get?
She gets a positive.
Why?
I don't know. She championed for the race. I don't know.
She was on the rest of the vote.
Yeah.
I mean, the vote went her way. She, they wanted to flush Jamie's idol, which they ultimately didn't do it because I forgot she gave it away to Kane.
Yep.
Because all that lead up was really for nothing. But they wanted to get rid of Jamie's idol, which they ended up flushing anyways, which was fake anyways because it left in Kane's pocket. And they got the extra vote out. And again, she's not doing much, but she's in the majority, and she still has. Does she have an idol or anything? I think she felt like she has something.
She just found an idol this.
She found out this week. That's
Yeah,
right. That's why. Yeah. Perfect.
That's more so why. Yes.
Yep. And so what's she at?
She is at +1.
+1. Excellent.
Yep.
Next.
Danny.
There's only a few left. Danny.
Yep.
What's Danny?
Positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
Why?
He was on the right side of the vote, and he's been pretty vocal, and he's still in the game.
Yeah, he's definitely outspoken. He's definitely a loud player. He's not underneath the radar, which is going to be tough for him to win and get there because his name has been coming up and he's been targeted. Mm-hmm. He's been playing a pretty good game. He's out in the open, and he's still in it. Like you said, he's still doing a good job. He's still hanging in there.
Yep.
So.
Yes, sir. He's on a +8 now.
Tied
to Carson.
Tied with Carson. There you go. So, good job for him. And again, it could. I think he's kind of a threat. They could definitely take him out.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they'll target him sooner rather than later. Hopefully.
I think what they'll do. I think the purple team will flip over back to the orange now and take out a green.
I would think so.
And that's going to be a matter of does Heidi play idol save somebody? She played on Danny, or Heidi the target, or what's the plan? But
right.
I think that's what they're going to do. I think so. I think Danny could definitely be in trouble next week, but
anybody could be.
But again, anybody could be for sure. We've seen that happen. But he's still in it, and Bailey agrees, right, Bailey?
not so much attention right now.
Yes. So that's where we're at, Danny. Again, he could definitely go next week, but so far this week he had things went his way. He got the votes on his side.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what is next?
Jamie.
Jamie, who?
Exactly.
Okay.
Negative.
Negative. Why?
Because she was on the wrong side of the vote. She lost her fake idol and wasted. She did what Lauren said, but it was a waste.
Yep. They used the extra vote, threw 2 votes on Heidi.
3.
Well, yeah.
Well,
double vote, and then
Jamie voted,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Still hasn't really done much in the game. Has been there, but hasn't really contributed a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, she feels like the person that's like, I don't know what's going on in the most wonderful way.
Yeah, she is the fake Carol.
Definitely very happy.
Yeah, she's Yogi, so I guess that's
Fake
good.
Carol.
Yeah, Carol from Walking Dead says that, but she was faking it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's where the reference comes from.
That's funny.
She's talking about how when she first went to the kingdom, and Carol first went to the kingdom Walking Dead, she didn't know what to expect, so she pretended to be a little old lady who's frail and didn't know what was going on, and she meanwhile she's just stabbing them, killing them all, because she's an assassin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jamie's kind of like that. She's just like, oh yeah, okay, we'll have fun, and like not for nothing, but half the people got swapped to other tribes, and they're still like loyal to it's like random how they're where the loyalties are. It's just like
it's a random.
it is. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like you said, if you're not gonna have alliances, then fantastic. Don't have alliances, but you guys definitely have alliances.
Yeah.
There's lines drawn and carved in cement. That's how it's not like they're written in sand that can be washed away by the tide. They're carved in cement. So I mean,
where are they getting the cement from?
I don't know. It's an analogy. I'm mixing metaphors. It's fine. But
rock maybe, but there's no cement there.
Yeah, well, there probably is plenty of cement. There's probably all kinds of stuff that production has.
Yeah, probably.
So Jamie's at what?
-7.
-7. Yeah, 'cause she's not. She's just okay.
And finally, our top player of the week.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
That is it.
Top player of the week.
Top player of the week is Carolyn.
Carolyn, yeah. So again, is she maybe the best spot to win?
Probably. I don't know. She's the only one that makes sense right now.
Which is annoying, right? I mean, Franny's starting to see like we should take out Purple, which is smart. But like Carolyn, there's a couple reasons Carolyn's play of the week. One, the vote, she was really going either way, I guess. So she was kind of.
She wasn't being emotional about it, and she also didn't think Kane was a threat. She was thinking logically, like, who is the actual threat?
Yeah, I think she wanted Danny.
Yeah.
I think Carson was kind of in the middle, and I think Jam wanted Kane because Kane was emotional about it, and Kane's name came up and whatever, or Jam's name came up by Kane.
Kane voted for Jam, so yeah, he wanted him out.
So, but Carolyn didn't really make the emotional decision. She's like, I want to get rid of Danny because he's the one of the bros. He didn't want anything to do with me, and
she said Kane doesn't make sense because he's not a threat. So she's the only one that knows what's going on.
Right, and again, she didn't blow up her game by saying, "Well, I'm not going with you guys. I'm going to go do my own thing." She stuck with her alliance.
Yeah.
And by the way, her alliance wanted to go, which is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. But also, here's the thing: let's say they target somebody. Let's say they decide to go for Franny next time. It's okay. You know what? Green and orange need to stop killing each other. We need to go after purple. Mm-hmm. Right? So they go after purple. Who are they going after? Jam, maybe Carson, because Carson's smart, but he has decent bonds.
Yeah.
Jam, they can easily go after.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to target Carolyn. And even if they do, she has an idol that they don't know about, so they're not going to plan for Carolyn's idol because they don't think she has an idol.
Yeah.
So she's really, she should survive a couple of votes just on her own, so she's not a huge threat. And then if they get on the final 6 or final 7, they may target her, but she's still got an idol, and not going to know she has it.
As long as she knows to play it.
Yeah, right. So
they're going to take her along because they think she's just kind of out there.
And she's definitely out there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But she may actually have...
It's a good distraction, though.
It is. And she was building good bonds this weekend like that. So, I think, I'm not a huge fan of hers, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I think she is not in a horrible spot. If she makes a couple more votes, she could really do some damage. And again, worst winners have won. Worst players have won the game. So, at this point, I used to think being a Survivor winner took skill and charisma, and it doesn't. It takes being in the right place at the right time. So I think, she obviously gets 2 pluses, which gives her what total?
A +1.
+1. And so that's how her game has been. right? She hasn't been the best. She hasn't been the worst. She's been right there. But she knows kind of what's going on. She has a good feel for the game as of right now. She's in a decent spot. And I said, if they decide to turn on her side, she's probably going to still be fine. You know?
Yeah.
So she knows she knows what the right moves are, even if she can't get people to make the right moves with her.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and she's not going to blow up her alliance because they're not listening to her.
Right.
You know, she's just going to stick along and ride along as long as she can.
Right. Yeah. Bailey doesn't like it either.
No.
You don't want Carolyn to be number one? Why not?
Yeah. So, I mean, I said I could see her going farther and doing well, but you know, at some point she had to split off from her allies at some point, and make a move and use the idol to make a move if you can. But again, the votes went the right way. She held on to her idol. She's maybe in the best spot in the whole game right now, which is kind of shocking. I really didn't think that would be the case. And by the way, if you look at like the internet and like the the fans and everything, a lot of them there's two main picks that keep coming up.
Yeah, I know. Carolyn and Franny.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Carolyn.
They'll go neither, I guess. But who do I want to win? Nobody.
I told you, the island just needs to sink.
I know. It needs to
save
capsize.
everybody a lot of time.
Yeah, I know. It saves CBS money. They lose all the production, but they don't have to give everyone $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, that's it. That's really all I had to say. Anything else about this episode as we wrap up here?
I think we spoke enough.
Cool. We're about the same time as we normally are, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Be sure.
It's like hours.
Be sure to subscribe. See what Bailey agrees. He's like, it's time for me to go get some treats and go pee. Right, Bailey? Yeah. He's like, let's watch hockey. That's what he's saying.
So let's go eat. You didn't eat yet.
Yeah, well, you have food. Go eat. You're not a survivor. You don't need to starve yourself like survivor players do. Bailey, I'm voting you out.
No, we're voting Daddy out.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, it makes the most sense. They would be you and the cat and the dog are aligned against me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make fire though and stay in the game. I have an immunity oil, so screw you both. All right. On that note, as we get way off the rails, be sure to subscribe to Miss Anything. You can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/pavementroadprod. Email the show, pavementroadproductions@gmail.com. Subscribe right to the YouTube channel. We'll be back next week with a whole lot more. So definitely subscribe so you get it all. Share the post, tell your friends who are also Survivor fans to check us out. Anything else, Jessica?
No.
No?
No.
Want to share that private joke you have going on right now?
Survivor fan.
That's all I got for you, right? Anything else?
No.
I got nothing else for you. Because the tribe has spoken.